The Ballad of Leeds Arts University, or How I Paid 27k to be Bullied by Lizards. Oh, gather round, my sweet summer children, and let me tell you a tale so tragic, so artistically bankrupt, that even a tin of beans thrown at a blank canvas would have more depth than this institution. Chapter 1, The Corporate Lizard's Playground. Picture this: you, a bright-eyed creative soul, step into Leeds Arts University, clutching your dreams like a fragile vase. And what do? They drop it, on purpose. While charging you £27,000 for the privilege of cleaning up the shards. This isn't a schoolet a corporate machine dressed in bohemian rags. The vice principal, oh darling, a literal lizard, not metaphorically. I swear if you held a heat lamp over him he'd shed his skin right there in the faculty lounge. And the management, more out of touch than a Tory at a food bank, they don't teach you. They curate you like some sad, unpaid intern arranging overpriced cupcakes in a hipster cafe. Why is this bad? Because pretending to educate while actually just exploiting is worse than just admitting you ran a scam. At least Nigerian princes are honest about stealing your money. Chapter 2, The Great Education Swindle. They tell you, here darling, make art, be free, but what they mean is, figure it out yourself, peasant. You sit in a critical hitch is just a fancy word for, let us all stand around while one tutor says something vague and the rich kids nod like bobbleheads. 30 minutes a week, 30, for 27,000. Do the math, that's 900 per hour to have someone shrug at your work and say, interesting. And don't even get me started on the industry links, more like industry lies. They promise connections, jobs, a future. What do you get? Silence, deafening, soul-crushing silence. The only industry they link to is the business of taking your money and ghosting you. Why is this bad? Because lying to broke students about employability is evil. It's like selling a parachute that's actually just a napkin. Chapter 3, The Tutor Who Should Be Been Fired in 1802. Now let us talk about him. The tutor, the bully. The man who looked at a literal homeless trans kid and said, you don't deserve a website. Yes, this creature who probably still uses grammar rules from the Victorian era single-handedly made a 16-year-old defend using they pronouns in front of the whole class. Why? Because he decided grammar was more important than basic human decency. And the university, they did nothing, not when he bullied students in front of colleagues, not when he made bigoted little comments wrapped up as feedback. Why is this bad? Because letting a grown man harass vulnerable kids isn't just bad teaching, it's criminal negligence. It's the kind of thing that should get a place shut down. Chapter 4, The Autistic Experience, or How Ableism is Their Unofficial Policy. If you disabled, run far, run fast, don't look back. Rebecca spent 2 years recovering from this place. 2 years because the staff cowards. Too scared to help, too weak to stand up for students. The support is about as useful as a chocolate teapot melted, by the way, because they also don't believe in heating. Why is this bad? Because ignoring disabled students isn't just lazy, it's violence. It's saying, your pain is an inconvenience to us. Chapter 5, The Final Betrayal.
Oh my goodness, I'm looking into these awful crimes near Leeds Arts University, Leeds. And I'm just so sad, these people are so mean. Businesses near Leeds Arts University, Leeds are really good at hiding the bad stuff, they'll sell you fake products and pretend they're real, and you'll be like, oh, I got a great deal. But really, you just got ripped off. For example, there was this huge raid near Leeds Arts University, Leeds, where they found over 130,000 worth of counterfeit goods and illegal vapes in these local shops. Can you believe it? They were selling fake cigarettes and vapes that don't even meet UK safety standards, It's like, how could they do that to people? It's so selfish. I predict the people who bought those fake products were probably tourists, visiting Leeds Arts University, Leeds for a short trip, and they just wanted to grab some cheap souvenirs. But then they realize, oh no, I got scammed. And they're left feeling so stupid and angry, And what probably happened to the scammers? They probably just closed their shops and opened new ones to avoid getting caught. It's so unfair. Businesses near Leeds Arts University, Leeds are really good at making fake products look real, They'll sell you fake branded clothing and electronics, and you'll be like, oh, I got a great deal on this designer stuff. But really, it's all just cheap fake stuff. For example, there were these tourists who reported buying designer goods near Leeds Arts University, Leeds, but they later found out they were fake. Can you believe it? They were sold these cheap counterfeits at what seemed like a discount price, but really they were just being scammed. I predict the tourists were probably so excited to show off their designer goods, but then they went back to their hotel room and realized, oh no, this is just a cheap fake. And they're left feeling so embarrassed and disappointed, you know. And what probably happened to the scammers? They probably just laughed all the way to the bank like, ha, we got away with it again. It's so wrong.
Okay, here's the let us be frank. The business is clustered around Leeds Arts University. They present a rather disheartening picture. It's not that everything is actively bad, it's more that a pervasive air of letdown hangs over the area. A concerning trend, really. It feels like a place where corners are cut, promises aren't kept, and a general sense of apathy permeates everything. It's a feeling that settles in your stomach, a dull weight. I've gone through a considerable number of accounts from people who have experienced these establishments, and frankly, it's left me unsettled. Trust me, as someone who appreciates meticulous detail, the lack of care is palpable, almost offensive. We can start with places like Trinity Leeds. Now, this is a large shopping center, and large spaces often carry large problems. But what consistently emerges from reports isn't just the typical shopping center issues, it's something darker. There's a repeated suggestion, a very serious suggestion, of discriminatory practices. People of color, specifically groups of friends, have been reportedly asked to leave simply for looking intimidating. Think about that for a moment. Intimidating based on appearance. It's a wound that festers, that kind of subtle hostility. You go looking for a pleasant afternoon, and you encounter something that makes you question where you are, who you are. Beyond that, there's a chaotic energy. Food deliveries don't arrive or arrive after hours of waiting, and even then, getting a refund feels like scaling Everest. People celebrate Christmas. Well, apparently acknowledging other faiths is a grave offense. It's a mess, slippery floors, malfunctioning elevators with no signage, and a general disregard for accessibility. It's a space that feels uncared for. It's a pattern. A consistent disregard, and it isn't just isolated incidents, it seems to be a fundamental aspect of how things are run. Even the parking, a basic need, is consistently described as a frustrating ordeal. It's not simply inconvenient, it involves potentially dangerous road crossings. Like seriously, then there's Floor Restaurant and Bar. It's presented as a visually appealing spot, but the smiles end there. Reports indicate shockingly poor food quality, food that isn't fresh, that tastes reheated, even described as leftovers. Imagine ordering a pulled beef brisket and receiving something that tastes like sadness layered upon sadness. And the service, slow, inattentive, making you feel like an inconvenience. There's a willingness to charge you for things you weren't informed about, charging your phone, for example. A small thing perhaps, but it speaks to a larger dishonesty. People encountered bait and switch tactics, mysterious charges. It's a place where you feel actively watched for opportunities to be exploited. The food, the service, it all feels calculated. And the desperation to get positive reviews, actively asking for them in exchange for something, is just disquieting. They seem desperate to appear better than they are. Which of course says everything. The bottomless brunch, a tempting offer on paper, is consistently described as a miserable experience, filled with sour drinks and insufficient portions. The Edge Fitness Center, despite aiming for quality, falls into a similar pattern. It's a place filled with frustration, staff who are, quite frankly, rude and unhelpful. Security who treat patrons like criminals for simply trying to use their membership. The swimming pool, a supposed haven of relaxation, is plagued by closures, malfunctioning equipment, and unsafe conditions. And the lane organization, apparently it's a disaster just waiting to happen, a potential accident waiting for the right moment. Apparently, the head lifeguard is too unbothered to care. Pool depths being randomly altered, creating strain on the body, and a persistent issue with staff attitude.
A sense of entitlement and a complete disregard for customer service. It's the type of place that leaves you feeling depleted, not rejuvenated. It feels like a space designed to drain your energy, not enhance it. It's deeply disheartening. And then we have the Domino Club. Oh, the Domino Club. It's presented as a trendy venue, but the reality, according to many, is a rude and unwelcoming atmosphere. Aggressive bouncers, surly staff, and a general sense of hostility. Stories of people being physically threatened, of being treated